deciding how to punish Anton Harris, known as the medical center rapist. I'm Paul Venema. We'll take you into court as prosecutors begin to build their case.
The brother of a prominent San Antonio pastor arrested east of Houston. What Jack Hagee, brother of Pastor John Hagee, is accused of and how the family's responding.
Booked into jail twice, the city and the county are doubling efforts on booking procedures, causing people to stay in custody longer. Why one local judge says that's a problem.
The impeachment trial has been nonstop for the past 2 weeks. What's next? And how it's impacting the 2020 race.
4 more companies are recalling baby products because they pose a risk for suffocation. Coming up, a parent alert.
We finally got a cool day in January today with highs basically right around 50 degrees, but coming up a significant warm up. I've got to look ahead to the weekend in just a few minutes.
And the World Health Organization has now declared the coronavirus a World Health Emergency.
The news at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, the man known as the medical center rapist, Anton Harris, now charged with a series of rapes and robberies that had residents of the medical center living in fear 5 years ago.
Harris was found guilty in one case yesterday, Paul Venema, in court as the punishment phase of his trial begins with testimony from a woman who prosecutors say was among Harris's victims.
After deliberating for 5 hours Wednesday, the jury found 21-year-old Anton Harris guilty of raping and robbing a nurse in her medical center area apartment. To protect her identity, she was called Jane, not her real name.
What happened to Jane at Mission Ranch Apartments on Sunday, May 28, 2017, was the last of the defendant's crimes.
Harris listed a series of rapes that began in the area in 2015, attacks for which they allege Harris is responsible. Those sexual assaults generated fear throughout the medical center area and prompted police to increase their presence.
Our captain decided to make a mini task force with our officers that were working directed patrol.
Moreno, who is now retired, was working the area in 2015. He said that a lull followed, but not for long. Sierra Schmidt testified that she was attacked by a man fitting Harris's description as she walked to her apartment. She was not raped and managed to break free, but not before scratching her attacker. Evidence from her fingernails, prosecutors say, would identify Harris as her attacker. Prosecutors tell me they plan to call at least 20 witnesses. The defense, too, plans to call witnesses. Given that, I doubt we'll have a punishment verdict before next week. Paul Venema, KSAT 12 News.
Years of sexual abuse, decades after former Harris County Constable Jack Thomas Hagee allegedly sexually assaulted an underage girl, he is now facing charges. The 74-year-old is the brother of San Antonio pastor John Hagee of Cornerstone Church. According to court documents, Jack Hagee's accuser, now a 38-year-old woman, claims the assaults lasted from the time she was 4 or 5 years old till she was 13. Jack Hagee was between the ages of 43 and 51 when those alleged assaults occurred. Arrest documents state investigators interviewed 2 witnesses, including Jack Hagee's sister-in-law and an unnamed brother who admitted he had told them about the sexual assaults, though it is unclear when that happened. Hagee was arrested on January 21st by Baytown police. In a statement, a spokesperson from Cornerstone Church said, quote, "Since Pastor Hagee was made aware of this situation, he and his wife have offered and given their full and unconditional support to the victim, including respecting their decision when to go to law enforcement and also speaking to law enforcement on the victim's behalf," unquote.
Less than 24 hours after police put out information about a wanted man accused of brutally beating his mom to death, they managed to track him down. 55-year-old Michael Kerbo was arrested at a home on Donaldson last night. That's north of Woodlawn Lake. He's accused of beating his 76-year-old mother on her head and face and leaving her to die inside of her Balcones Heights apartment after an argument on Tuesday. Police say that same night, Kerbo called a friend saying that his mom was dead and that the person tipped them off. Kerbo now charged with murder.
A threat to mix chemicals and make explosives at his workplace landed 28-year-old William Sturtz behind bars. San Antonio police arrested Sturtz yesterday after a coworker he got into a fight with reported hearing Sturtz make statements about workplace violence. Arrest records say the employee told police he did not feel safe. Sturtz then arrested when he returned to work yesterday. Officers say that he had a knife and a gun on him when they took him into custody.
Fingerprints found on a CD. That is what led police to this 41-year-old burglary suspect. Police say Timothy Colbert broke into a house back on December 11th. He got in through a window and got away with several items, but left his fingerprints behind. He was arrested on a burglary charge.
The arrest of a man back for an injury to a child case has revealed there was a duplication of services in the booking process. Records show a city magistrate set bond for Logan Harville this week at $1 million after Harville was accused of beating a 3-year-old with a belt. When Harville was moved to the Bexar County Jail, he was magistrated a second time and his bond changed to $150,000. County officials say since January 2nd, all people brought to the jail from the city's booking facility are being magistrated again. Judge Ron Ranhel called this an important step toward instituting best practices for booking someone.
The best process would be for the county to magistrate everybody.
A city court administrator reached for comment, declined to release an official statement, but he also did not understand the necessity of magistrating a person twice. The child Harville is accused of beating. Christian Paz later died from his injuries.
Well, taking a live look outside with Live Cam, a cloudy and cool day across the Alamo City. One of the coolest days in January we've seen all month long, and temperatures really do reflect that. Take a look at these weather watcher temperatures. 46 in Dr. Todd's backyard in Rock Springs, 51 out in Del Rio, 53 down in Floresville, 48 in Leon Springs. Closer to San Antonio, you can see it's 52 in Mico, 50 in Seguin, and about 52 in Universal City. But we do have a significant warm up ahead. Not going to feel like winter for much longer.
All right, Sarah, thank you. One more day. Tomorrow, we are expecting to learn what's next in the Senate impeachment trial. Will witnesses be called forward or not?
Republicans have blocked previous efforts by Democrats to do so at the beginning of the trial. But as ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi explains, it now comes down to 4 undecided senators.
Chief Justice John Roberts Thursday commencing the final day of the question and answer phase of President Trump's impeachment trial.
The administration continues to obstruct wholly our efforts to get the emails and correspondence that we have asked for. That obviously can be remedied by this body with the appropriate subpoenas, namely a subpoena to Ambassador Bolton.
Democrats say the allegations in Bolton's unpublished book, which reportedly state the president told Bolton he withheld military aid from Ukraine for political purposes, underscores their argument. The president's lawyers countering those claims in response to a question from Republican Senators Patrick Philbin stated that it is the president's right to block witnesses, including Bolton, without the presumption of guilt.
The concept of saying that when the president asserts constitutionally grounded prerogatives of his office, that is evidence of guilt, is a completely bogus assertion.
This comes as senators gear up for a critical vote on whether to allow new witnesses and documents, which could come down to 4 undecided Republican senators. Some Republicans have insisted Joe and Hunter Biden be among those called. The president's legal team now arguing Trump launched investigations into the 2 men for both national and personal interests.
It's not campaign interference for credible information about wrongdoing to be brought to light, if it's credible information.
What president is not going to think he has a credible reason to investigate his opponent?
The head of the Federal Election Commission has previously said accepting foreign assistance in an election is a crime, and the FBI director says if a campaign receives an offer, they should contact his agency.
Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
The impeachment trial has tied up 4 Democratic senators running for president in the final days before the Iowa caucus. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, and Michael Bennet are having to come up with new ways to campaign. Klobuchar made a quick stop in Iowa on Tuesday. Warren held a tele-town hall with voters yesterday, and Sanders' last visit was Sunday. Meantime, Andrew Yang and Joe Biden continue to campaign a win for the Democratic Party, urging voters to the polls.
We can take back a capital that has stopped working for us and actually make it improve your lives.
The Iowa caucuses are Monday, February 3rd. Back here at home, the primary election isn't for another month, but a big deadline is on Monday. If you haven't registered to vote, you only have till Monday. The Bexar County Elections Office is offering extended hours this weekend. They're open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, from noon to 4 p.m. on Sunday, and on Monday, they're open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
We have an important safety alert for parents of babies. 4 more companies have now recalled Inclined sleep products because of a suffocation risk. It is a danger we have told you about before. Tonight, 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz shows us which products parents are being warned not to use.
As the Consumer Product Safety Commission pushes to ban all Inclined sleepers for babies, 4 more companies want theirs out of stores and homes. Take a look. Now recalled are 111,000 Graco Little Lounger rocking seats, 46,000 Summer Infant Swaddle Me By Your Bed sleepers, 3,000 Pillow portable nappers made by Evenflow, and nearly 6,000 Delta Incline sleepers with adjustable feeding position for newborns. Deltas were sold under various brand names, including Beauty Rest Beginnings and Disney Baby Minnie Mouse. No deaths have been reported with these new recalls. But according to the CPSC, there have been 1,108 incidents and 73 deaths linked to other Inclined sleepers. Most notably, the Fisher-Price Rock and Play. Millions of those have already been recalled.
The American Academy of Pediatrics Safe Sleep Guidelines state that babies should not be put to bed at an incline because it can increase the risk of suffocation.
They don't have the muscle strength to reposition, or their heads can flop forward, restricting their airway.
If you have any of these recalled sleepers, stop using them and contact the company for a refund or a voucher. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
The coronavirus, now declared a global health emergency by the World Health Organization. The announcement made today that the first person-to-person case was reported in Illinois. The virus originated in Wuhan, China, where more than 7,800 cases have been reported and 170 deaths. 6 cases have been reported here in the U.S. in Washington, Illinois, Arizona, and California.
New at 5, helping health and dignity. Today, City Council approving the purchase of a mobile shower trailer to use for homeless outreach. Over the last few months, the city was used to borrowing a shower unit for a pilot program. It provided 404 people with 1,407 showers between July and December. Well, the city will be able to use its new trailer for community emergencies, events, or homeless encampments. District 1 Councilman Roberto Trevino had brought up the issue of the mobile showers in December of 2018.
I hope to look at opportunities to buy more of these and deploy them where the need requires us to deploy them.
District 10 Councilman Clayton Perry was the lone vote against buying the trailer. He said he was supportive of nonprofits buying this type of equipment, but not the city. Still ahead at 5, U.S. life expectancy rates are going up. We're going to take a look at what factors have contributed to the positive turn. This is the 13th annual Western Heritage Parade and Cattle Drive. It is happening this weekend, and we're going to be celebrating at our KSAT Corral Hoedown. The parade is this Saturday, February 1st, from 9 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. The parade route begins at I-35 and it goes to Houston Street. It ends at La Villita. You can get your tickets to our KSAT Corral Hoedown right now. Just go to ksat.com/insider. Good news for those wishing to live a long and healthy life. Life expectancy rates in the U.S. have increased for the first time in years. KSAT 12's Tiffany Huertas tells us what has contributed to this positive turn.
For the first time in 4 years, people in the U.S. can expect to live longer. According to reports from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's National Center for Health Statistics, the average life expectancy in the U.S. in 2018 was 78.7 years, an increase of 0.1 year from 2017. Broken down by gender, it's 76.2 years for men and 81.2 years for women. One of the study's authors attributed the positive swing to fewer deaths from cancer, drug overdoses, and heart disease, among others. Deaths from drug overdoses fell 4.1% from 2017 to 2018, the largest decline in decades. However, when it comes to specific drugs, the number of overdose deaths from synthetic opioids continued to increase dramatically. The infant mortality death rate also decreased, thanks to fewer deaths from unintentional injuries and cord and placenta complications. Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
Oh, a lot going on this weekend. We got the cattle drive, where a lot of KSAT personalities.
She promised she was going to do a yeehaw next time we talked about the cattle drive.
Yeehaw!
All right,
there we go.
There you go. Hey, I'm an Aggie. I know how to yeehaw.
Are we going to be that excited about the weather, though?
Yeah, I think they're going to need jackets in the morning, maybe.
In the morning, yeah.
Okay.
It'll be chilly in the morning, but in the afternoon, it's going to be beautiful this weekend. However, today, not totally beautiful outside unless you enjoy the cooler weather. It was gray and there were areas of light drizzle. Take a look at the time lapse. This is what we've been used to all day long. These gray skies. Today's high was only 52 degrees. That is 12 degrees below the average high of 64. Take a look at the record low set back in 1949, 5 degrees. We can get that cold this time of year. That was when we also saw quite a bit of snow around San Antonio on this day back in 1949. But today our low was 44 degrees, right around average. New drought monitor came out today and it's not looking great. You can see that there's severe drought from Seguin down to Floresville. That's this orange color. This beige color, like right around San Antonio, central San Antonio up to New Braunfels, is a moderate drought conditions. The only area in the KSAT 12 viewing area that's doing okay right now is in this yellow color and up in northwestern Bexar County, where it's just abnormally dry. You can see that there are even worse drought conditions, extreme drought conditions from Uvalde down into Maverick County through La Pryor and Del Rio under extreme drought at the moment. So we could really use rain. And today's cloudy conditions just didn't produce any significant rainfall. There still are some areas of sprinkles out there. But again, that's just spits and drizzles. It's not going to do much to fill up rain gauges by any means. As a result of the cloud cover, temperatures are a lot cooler right now. It's in the 40s up in the hill country, 46 in Kerrville, 51 here in San Antonio, 50 in New Braunfels, 52 down in Cotulla. The reason why we're cloudy is because of a low pressure system right over West Texas, sending in some of that Pacific moisture, keeping those clouds in play. But look behind it, drier air behind it and clear skies. So we'll be able to clear out at some point during the day tomorrow, probably later in the afternoon. For the forecast this evening, if you're heading out this Thursday night, just know that it's going to be cloudy. It's going to be chilly. Wind from the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Temperatures will fall into the mid 40s by midnight. And there is a small chance, 20%, for an isolated shower. But again, not going to amount to much, not going to put a dent in that drought. Take a look at the high-res futurecast. For the first part of the day tomorrow, it should stay pretty cloudy. Mostly cloudy skies by lunchtime, but then after lunch, it looks like we'll have clearing skies and a pretty pleasant afternoon, Friday afternoon, as you start your weekend. Here's a look at the day planner for Friday. Cloudy and 42 for the morning commute. Clearing skies around noon. Will be in the 50s. Comfy in the afternoon, right around 60 degrees. Northwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. Clear and chilly for Friday evening, again, as you begin your weekend. And then, hate to do a cliche, but when you can make a graphic with a roller coaster, you got to do it. We're going to go up and down the temperature roller coaster. Today was 52. We'll go up it. By the weekend, we'll be in the 60s. For the start of next week, we'll be in the mid to upper 70s. And then you guessed it, cold front by the middle of the week. We'll go back down that temperature roller coaster. We'll be back in the 50s by the middle of next week. As far as rain chances go, again, no significant rain chances in the next 7 days. Just an isolated shower or two possible on Monday. And then when that front moves through early Wednesday morning, we could have an isolated cold shower. That's about it.
You're going to have to tell us your secret. How do you get on a roller coaster and your hair stays exactly the same?
Lots of hairspray, Ursula.
It's amazing feat right there.
All right, Greg. Spurs fans have a good reason to be happy. A huge win over Utah.
They belong on that roller coaster as well because they're beating teams they shouldn't beat and they're losing to teams they should beat. And when we come back, the Spurs jump the Jazz on their roller coaster season as well, and Dak on his new head coach coming up. Our San Antonio Spurs continue their roller coaster season by scoring one of the biggest wins of the year by beating the Utah Jazz, currently one of the top teams in the Western Conference, ending their 3-game losing streak. And what made it even more amazing, they did it without LaMarcus Aldridge, who missed his second straight game with a sprained right thumb. Spurs got off to a great start as Patty Mills drains his rainbow three, and he does that from the corner. Then DeMar DeRozan picks up where he left off against the Bulls, where he scored 36 in Chicago. He had 17 in the first half alone. And then Derek White, the three, part of a 17-8 run, and the Spurs are on top after 137-29 by shooting 68%. Now, how about a little Spurs defense? DeJounte Murray with a block on Rudy Gobert. DeJounte on offense, the crossover pull-up jumper. The Spurs lead by 8 at the break, 70-62. That lead would balloon to 15 when DeMar is able to find Trey Lyles with a big-time dunk. But like in most games of this season, the Spurs can't hold the double-digit lead. Donovan Mitchell drives to the rim. That 15-point lead is now down to 4, 98-94. DeMar does it again. He caps off his night with a pair of baseline baskets with 3.5 left in the game, and the Spurs hold off the Jazz 127-120.
We made adjustments, and we had guys on the same page. Where usually, if we make a lot of adjustments, there's a couple guys that are not in the same arena. So tonight, I thought everybody responded pretty good to whatever was going on the court.
All right, last game before the rodeo road trip is on Saturday, 8 p.m. against Charlotte.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dak Prescott is at the Super Bowl in Miami, and while he would rather be in the Super Bowl in Miami, the Cowboys quarterback is pleased to hear that they'll keep Kellen Moore as his offensive coordinator. It's also the first time we are hearing from him since the Cowboys made a change at head coach, letting Jason Garrett go and hiring former Packers head coach Mike McCarthy. So what has Dak excited about McCarthy?
He's got a Super Bowl. Anytime you come into a locker room and you've got that, guys are going to follow. Obviously, that's the goal, and that's what we want to get to. We've got a guy that has that and knows how to get there, and excited to follow him.
And in case you haven't seen it yet, Jerry Jones' yacht, the Bravo Eugenia, has arrived at Port Miami to make its United States debut just in time for the Super Bowl. The yacht is worth $250 million and stands 357 feet long with 2 landing pads for helicopters. Not 1, 2, in case your friends want to drop in. Get this, the yacht costs more than what Jerry originally paid for the Dallas Cowboys, $150 million. It's already been named Yacht of the Year in the Cannes Yacht Contest, I guess, before making the trip across the Atlantic for Super Sunday. Look at that thing. And it's got boats and all kinds of gear inside of it.
It's a cruise ship. It's not a yacht.
Absolutely. Pretty much.
Yeah, I would definitely like to take a look inside of that.
I'm waiting for my invitation. Haven't gotten it.
I mean, you should get one.
Never.
I'm sure there's going to be a big party there on Sunday.
Both.
All right, thank you, Greg.
We'll be right back.
After a chilly day today, we will gradually warm up into the weekend. We'll be in the upper 70s by Tuesday. Then a real deal cold front makes us chilly again middle of the week.
The roller coaster rolls on.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the News at 5 with us.
World's News is next.